1971 wasn't just another year in music. It was a moment, loud, reflective, rebellious. Songs were no longer just sound, they became statements, visions, and echoes that still ripple through the decades. From whispered farewells to thunderous anthems, these are the tracks that turned a year into a legacy. Let's count down the 10 unforgettable rock songs that made 1971 a year we'll never forget. Number 10, Maggie May, Rod Stewart.
Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried anymore.
It started as a B-side, an afterthought, but it ended up defining Rod Stewart's career. Maggie May wasn't just catchy, it was confessional. Inspired by a real experience Stewart had at 16 with an older woman, the song blurred the line between youthful excitement and heartbreak. It was raw, a little messy, and that's why it worked. His raspy delivery made every lyric feel like it was being dragged from memory in real time. It didn't need polish, it needed honesty, and it had plenty of that.
I suppose I could collect my books and get on back to school.
The track soared to number 1 almost by accident, transforming Stewart from a raspy frontman into a household name. And decades later, Maggie May still feels like a conversation we were never supposed to hear. Number 9, Rock and Roll, Led Zeppelin. Sometimes magic happens when a band messes around. This wasn't some deeply planned composition, it was a jam. John Bonham kicked things off with a furious drum intro borrowed from Little Richard's Keep a Knockin', and the rest was instinct. Rock and Roll is a love letter to the 1950s, built on a 12-bar blues chassis and fueled by Jimmy Page's riffs and Robert Plant's untamed howl. It's loud, it's joyful, it's unapologetically primal. The track crashes through speakers like a live wire and refuses to slow down. And tucked in the background, that's Rolling Stones pianist Ian Stewart pounding away like it's still 1956. Zeppelin wasn't just pushing boundaries here, they were tipping their hats to the ones who started it all. Number 8, Won't Get Fooled Again, The Who. Revolution doesn't always deliver. That's the bitter pill Pete Townshend handed the world with this one. Originally meant to be the final statement in The Who's abandoned Lifehouse project, Won't Get Fooled Again isn't just a rock song, it's a warning. It starts with a futuristic synth loop, then builds into a thunderous wall of sound. Daltrey's scream at the climax? That wasn't just performance, it was release. Lyrically, it dismantles the idea of change for change's sake. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. It's cynical, sure, but it's also razor sharp. Who's Next gave us several landmarks, but this one, clocking in at over 8 minutes, stands tall like a monument to hope, disappointment, and the cost of waking up. Number 7, Behind Blue Eyes, The Who.
Behind blue eyes.
Townshend again, but this time quieter, softer, and more dangerous. Behind Blue Eyes came from the same shelved Lifehouse concept, written for a villain named Jumbo. But you don't need to know the backstory to feel the ache in every line. The song begins as a whisper, no one knows what it's like, then transforms into rage, like a storm trying to contain itself and failing. Townshend wrote it in a hotel room after a show in Denver, wrestling with temptation, guilt, and everything that fame brings but can't fix. It's not just about heartbreak, it's about identity, duality, and the masks we wear. Number 6, Life on Mars. David Bowie. She's in the theater, but nothing's playing. Not really. Not what she needs. This song doesn't tell a story, it paints one. Frame by frame, image by image. Mickey Mouse, soldiers, a girl lost in her own world. What was originally written as a parody of My Way, Life on Mars turned into something far more powerful, a surreal portrait of modern alienation set to a soaring orchestral rise that leaves gravity behind. It's glam, it's theatrical, but it's never hollow. Bowie makes us feel the emptiness of fame, of spectacle, of waiting for something that never arrives. Number 5, Wild Horses, The Rolling Stones. It's easy to forget how tender the Stones could be. Wild Horses isn't a swaggering strut, it's a sigh, a surrender. The song began with Keith Richards, written about the pain of leaving his newborn son while on tour. Mick Jagger later shaped the lyrics into something more universal, a love song full of ache and restraint. Recorded at Muscle Shoals, it's stripped down to the essentials: acoustic guitar, subtle piano, and Jagger sounding like he's holding back tears. No embellishment, no performance, just honesty. And in that quiet, the Stones found something immortal. Number 4, Riders on the Storm.
Riders on the storm.
The Doors. It rains. It always rains. The thunder, the whisper, the jazz guitar sliding in like fog. Morrison doesn't sing, he haunts. released on LA Woman, Riders on the Storm was the last song Jim Morrison ever recorded with The Doors. Weeks later, he was dead. And this track, it became a prophecy. The whispered vocals, added at the last moment, created a second version of Morrison. A ghost within a ghost. The song wasn't just eerie, it was spiritual, drifting, and dangerous. It's not just about a killer on the road, it's about the storm inside us all. Number 3, Echoes, Pink Floyd.
In the street, by chance, two separate glances meet.
It was an ocean, a 23-minute drift into the unknown. It started with a single piano note and ended somewhere near the edge of time. Built from fragments and experimentation, Echoes filled an entire side of metal. There's no chorus, no hook, just tides. David Gilmour's guitar floats like sunlight on waves, while Richard Wright's keyboards shimmer and sink beneath it. Lyrically, it's about connection, about humans reaching out to one another. But sonically, it's much more cosmic, meditative, and infinite. It was the bridge between the Floyd that was and the Floyd that would change everything. Number 2, Aqualung, Jethro Tull, Filthy Feet.
Hey, sitting on the mountain slope.
Cold Sun, a man watching the world from a place society refuses to look. Aqualung was gritty, grimy, and poetic. Ian Anderson always said it wasn't a concept album. But how do you separate this title track from the themes it opened up? Religion, hypocrisy, neglect? It's all here, layered in riffs, flute stabs, and sudden shifts in time and tone. The main character might be fictional,
Feeling alone, the army's out now.
but the world he exposes is very real. And in just a few verses, Tull turned him into a symbol for everyone who's been pushed aside. Number 1, Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin.
There's a feeling I get when I look.
It begins in a whisper, a finger-picked acoustic guitar, a voice like prophecy, but what it builds into, no one saw coming. Stairway to Heaven wasn't just another track on Led Zeppelin 4. It was the band's most ambitious statement. 8 minutes of musical evolution, from medieval folk to electrified transcendence. Jimmy Page didn't improvise that solo. He crafted it, every bend, every pause, with surgical care. Robert Plant's lyrics were cryptic, spiritual, and filled with imagery that invited obsession. Here's the wild part. Stairway was never even released as a single. No charts, no radio push, but DJs kept playing it, fans kept calling in, and over time, it became the most requested, most played song in FM radio history. It has been banned in guitar stores, covered endlessly, blamed for satanic messages,
If there's a bustle in your head.
praised as a masterpiece. Whatever you think, it left a mark. 50 years later, the stairway is still there, waiting, and we're all still climbing. These weren't just tracks on a record, they were echoes, footprints, thunderclaps. Each one carried a story, a shift, a feeling that never quite left. And together, they made 1971 unforgettable.